Good morning, or if it's not morning, I'm sorry, but it's morning for me, so good morning. I'm Kaz. As you could judge by the title of today's video, I'm gonna go ride a bunch of Kawasaki's. Yeah, Kawasaki's doing a demo ride tour. It's a little local, I have to do a little bit of traveling, but I'm gonna go ride a bunch of Kawasaki's today. So a big point I keep making in all my videos and everything is that I don't have the experience to really make a good judgment call. I don't have the experience to be like, oh, I don't really want that bike, or you know, I prefer this bike over that bike. I just don't know. I don't know. So that's what we're doing today. So yeah, let's go ride some bikes.
So obviously this is not Bert's Barracuda. This is Pasco Power Sports in Port Richey, Florida. A little bit of a ways away. I've never been out this way, so the drive was kind of fun. It was kind of stressful, but at the end of the day, still pretty fun. So I don't really need to explain what's happening right here. We're at a Kawasaki Good Times demo tour, and so I'm gonna be demoing as many bikes as I can get my hands on. Hell yeah.
Grab your gear, make your way over to the tents at the end of the trailer. We're going to do a breathalyzer to everybody. We'll go over the rules.
Do breathalyzer. Oh god, I gotta take my helmet off. I gotta take my helmet off. No.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. I do appreciate you riding with us. It's a beautiful Sunday out there, so a lot of other things we could be doing, but it means something to be here with us. Light traffic out there, nice breeze, so it's a great day to ride.
I think this might be the one. I think this is what I'm test riding today. Versys or anything, so. Okay. The only bike I can really compare it to is the Pan America. Okay, I feel pretty good. Okay. Initial thoughts of a Versys 650 compared to a Pan America. The Pan America is a little more intimidating than this. Granted, I'd say the Versys 1000 would probably be the more comparable motorcycle than this. But this feels a lot better. Like, I rode the Pan America. I should be just fine on this thing. Yeah, like, I don't really know anything about, like, this is my first time even being on a Kawasaki, ever, so.
Alright, we're going to do a final check here. Make sure all kickstands are up. Helmets and buckle, gloves are on. We're looking pretty good out here. We look like a bunch of professionals. We're going to come out with that Versys 650. I love that hat, man. We're going to go with that KLX 300 Super Photo.
All right. This thing's pretty, like, smooth. This is very nice. This is pretty, well, that's no good. I mean, so initial thoughts. It's just very smooth. It's just, it does what you want it to. Like, the Pan America, I'm trying to gather my words. If I'm gonna be completely honest, like, I like the Pan America looks wise. Like, the Pan America is just very beautiful. Harley did a really good job on the Pan America. I'm really liking the Versys 650 though. Like, this is, it's just nice. I'm not necessarily worrying about I'm not worried about the price. I don't know the price tag on this motorcycle, but ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, this is lighter than the Pan America. It just feels more manageable, and it's just a lot more composed. I mean, the Pan America was great. It was wonderful. If you're in the mood for a big displacement ADV bike, that is a really good bike. But like I said, this just feels great. Like, it's just not... I like bike. That's all that matters. I like bike, and I really like this bike. Bike is nice. I really like bike. This is just nice. Like, I'm just gonna be saying that a lot, probably about a lot of these bikes. It's just nice. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm just having fun. I like bike. Okay, let's see if I can actually collect my thoughts for now. And, you know, actually give it a proper thing. So, I definitely like this a lot more than the Pan America. It just feels lighter, and it's the smaller bike. Displacement-wise, probably weight-wise, it's less feature-heavy because it's not aiming for the 1200 GS, or this isn't. Now, I could ride the Versys 1000 and see how that compares, and it might be comparable, more comparable to the Pan America, but I don't know. This is just nice. It's not it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's just very well behaved. It's a nice bike. I could definitely see myself commuting on this and, you know, riding this every day. It has the get up if I need it. It's not... A big part of riding a motorcycle is definitely the thrill of it, you know, having like the torque, all the flashiness of it. But if you're planning on, you know, actually riding the bike every single day, you don't necessarily want that. You want it to be fun, but you don't want it to be so overcumberingly insane that it's just that, you know, it's just unbearable at times. This is really fun. This is just really fun. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really nice.
Get on the dim. Get on the dim. Get on the dim.
One spot. Anybody interested in one of those other bikes real quick?
I'll do the 400.
You want to do Ninja 400?
Yep.
What's your first name?
Brandon.
Brandon?
Yeah, there will be a breathalyzer.
All right.
Yep, thank you. ZX650 is... Oh, here it is. Ninja 4 Hundo. So a big switch up from... Yep. 400. Yep.
They look so similar, it's hard to
Yeah. Ah. So, obviously way different of a monster. Come in neutral. Okay. So, obviously all my life I've only ever had cruisers and been on adventure bikes, so this is my first sport bike, and fitting I'm gonna go with the 400. I know sport bike displacement is different than cruiser displacement, so even though it's a 400, it's not gonna be a slouch. It's not gonna be like my Street 500 was a miserable bike, so this should not be comparable to the Street 500. I'm looking really forward to this. I know my sister's gonna be really jealous, so because the Ninja's her favorite bike. So, my first sport bike. And this, almost all the videos I'm gonna be making are just gonna be a whole series of firsts. Just hey, like this is my first this, my first that, and here I am right now. Just my first sport bike. Mirrors look pretty good. Still recording, so that's good. I hope my battery's turned on. Oh Jesus, 15 or 12,000 red line, and it goes all the way up to 15. Jesus, this ain't no Fiat, that's for sure. A big argument with like cruisers and stuff like, oh, sport bikes are too aggressive, they're not comfortable. Oh, granted, I haven't started moving yet, but this is not actually that bad. Now, I have sat on a few Ducatis where, the tuck per se was so aggressive, and that's what those machines are for. But this feels great. This feels like a bike's bike. I like bike.
You guys look great on these bikes. I think everybody looks great on a brand new Kawasaki, but that could just be me. Then the Ninja 400. We'll go on that Versys 350.
Okay, so obviously the ergonomics are way different than what I'm used to with cruisers. Adventure bikes, they're arguably more like cruisers too. But yeah, these ergonomics are way different. Way different. This is fun. I can understand why people like sport bikes. This is... It definitely is not scary. Like, the power is definitely not intimidating. Now, imagine if I was on like a 650 or 1000 or whatever, this would be way scarier. But I feel like, aside from the ergonomics, aside from, never being on a sport bike, and getting used to, wow, my leg is like really tucked, this is fine. This is great. Hell yeah. Try our best not to cut off the bicyclist. Oh! Gear shifter is very light. Very light, compared to everything else. But this is great. This is awesome. And, coming from someone who's only ever been on Harleys, only ever experiencing Harleys, like, I can see why people like this. And I'm one of those people. Like, this is really cool. Again, I like bike. That's all I'm gonna say. But Again, I like bike, so it's really hard to get on a bike and not smile and not have a good time. So again, I'm just saying, like, coming from someone who's only ever had Harley Davidsons, who's only ever experienced cruisers, I wouldn't say I'm full-blown squid, but this is nice. This is fantastic. And I understand, you know, everyone's different. Not everyone's gonna find this comfortable, but it's not as bad as everyone wants to say it is. You can break the law on anything. I break the law on my Fiat almost every day. You didn't hear me say that though, but it's just going back to the Versys 650. It's just not dramatic. It does what it needs to, and it does it pretty well. And like, honestly, I'm feeling like I don't even need a cruiser to do cruiser things. I feel like I could, you know, join all my cruiser friends on rides with this thing and not feel out of place anymore. Because, you know, it's not a cruiser, you know, oh boo-hoo. But a bike is a bike. We're all doing the same thing, and this is just great. This is fantastic. Like, to the point where I might ask how much this thing is. Oh, but you're not going to stick with Harley? You're not going to go with Indian? I've only rode a Scout once, so I don't really have much of a factor with it. And Harley, I haven't experienced the touring bike. I don't really care for the soft tails as much looks wise. The ones I do like the look of, they're very like way even more aggressive than this. This is just really nice. It's not very technical. I can't really give you specs or anything. This is just me, someone who used to ride Harleys, and getting on this thing. Man, it's a bike. Like, that's all I gotta say. It's a bike, man, and this is great. Being a cruiser rider and going to a sport bike, that's the only scary part, but just give me a few days in the saddle and I'll master this thing. Like, man, I like all bikes, and brands, you know, are brands. People have their certain you know, preferences, but honestly, I'm coming in blind to all of this. I just like bikes. So I don't really have a preconceived notion other than I've owned 2 Harleys, I've rode a couple Harleys, 1 Indian, a Ducati, and now 2 Kawasaki's. And man, again, I need to figure out the price on this thing, because I'm not saying the series is short-lived, but man, this is great. I can definitely see me on this thing. And that's probably going to make some of my cruiser friends mad, but look, man. Bike's bike. I like bike. Bike I like. This thing is... yeah. That's the one I rode last time. It's nice. Oh. It's not painfully slow. It's not criminally slow. It does the speeds I need it to. Like, I don't need to speed, and it's very easy to speed on a bike, as I found out with the Pan America. That thing was doing 130 no problem. Like, oh man, but this, man, I don't understand why, like, the bike community is so divided. At the end of the day, we are all doing the same thing. Cars is a little more divisive, but man, we're all doing this dangerous shit, you know. We're all out here having a good time. We need more inclusivity in the bike world. Cause man, we're all on two wheels, we're all having a good time, and I don't know any of these people's backgrounds, but I guarantee you some of these people have Harleys or rode Harleys, and look, they're out here on Kawasaki's, or, you know, same thing can go the other way around. You have someone who's very into sport bikes, very, you know, like, oh, you know, squid till I die, and then they do a Harley demo ride, and then, you know, like, wow, you know, these things great. A bike is a bike. It's really hard to mess up a bike. And as I'm finding out with the series, oh man, there's so many bikes out there. I don't even know. It's like I'm torn because, you know, there's bikes that I like the look of, but then I get on Pan America, I get on. I don't know about the Street Glide. I don't think I'd ever want a Street Glide, but it's just nice. This is just very nice. Man, I miss having a bike. Hey, however much the Ninja 400 is, I might just go with that. It is just me having a good time, having fun. But ultimately, I am shopping. I am shopping for my next bike. Man. Oh, man. So, I don't really have a way to explain the list, but I'm gonna have to do some major restructuring on this list, because I think the Kawasaki's have bumped above the Harleys strictly because of price, because both the Kawasaki's I've been on, I can guarantee you, are way more affordable than Pan America.
Alright, watch yourself everybody as those bikes do come in. Be careful, watch out for traffic.
Man. You know, everyone's always like, oh, horsepower and everything, but man, that was great. Alright, it's lunch break right now. We're taking a quick break before they resume test rides. I'm conspicuously gathering my thoughts behind a dumpster in true Florida fashion. Man, just bikes are bikes. I like bike I like. I'm gonna be saying that. Oh, but man, those were really good. I really liked the Versys. I really liked the Ninja. Like, it's just, bikes are great, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts really, but man, it's just, there's too many bikes. That's the big issue. There's way too many bikes, and at some point rather than another, I'm gonna have to make a decision on what bike do I want to get, and it's not easy. It's not easy right now, so I'm gonna have to think about this list, this tier list of what bikes I like and how they stack against each other, because right now it's very cloudy. I can't, if you were to ask me right now, hey, what bike do you want? I literally cannot give you an answer, because I don't know. I don't know, so yeah. But I'm out here, I'm riding, I'm trying to make this decision as easy as I can make it, so. Well, bike number 3 of today, a KLR 650S. Yes. Seat's a little warm. Yeah, I don't know about the KLR, dog. I don't know about the KLR, dog. Ain't feeling too great about the KLR. I am a little out of breath, but it's just not as comfortable as the Versys, at least in the seat. I don't know. Usually, whenever I get on a bike and I sit on it, like, I don't know. Sometimes my leg just instantly cramps, and I'm just like, this ain't gonna be good. Which I'm kind of having that moment with the KLR right now. Could just be, you know, I took a break after riding, sat down, ate, and, you know, my legs are a little, I'm a little tired, but, I don't know. Oh, we have an engine light. Oh, never mind, it went away. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, KLR. It definitely feels way different than the Versys. It feels a lot more top-heavy, I suppose, but, I mean, I don't know. One of my good friends tells me all the time, oh, get on a KLR, get on a KLR, so I'm gonna get that out of the way, see how I feel about it. I don't know, I really like the Versys, but I've never been on a KLR, so again, with the theme of most of these videos, it's my first time on it, so I'm gonna see what the KLR is all about. Feels a lot more vibration-y than the other bikes. It could just be I'm watching that turn signal just kind of bounce off, so I don't know. I mean, all these bikes feel really good, so I haven't been on one. I'm like, no, I can't. This is horrible. I can't. They're all pretty good.
KLR 650.
Okay. This feels a lot more beefy than the yeah, this feels a lot more beefy than the Versys, which honestly I kind of like. If you could go any faster, that would be great. This guy's trying to take his sweet time. Having a little bit of difficulty or something with that one. I don't know. Okay, so the cramping on the KLR actually kind of went away. I think it's just the initial sitting on it and just height combined with the tired leg combined with everything else, you know. Yeah, but it's not that bad. We're turning. We're turning. We lost a rider. We have one guy who's just not accelerating, like maybe his bike's acting up, and the other guy just straight up went. I don't know. We lost some guys. Yeah, ignoring what just happened, let's talk about this KLR. It's actually, I think I prefer this over the Versys, or Versys. Like at a standstill and at low speed, the Versys is a lot more approachable, but the KLR just has a nice weight to it. It just has a nice feel to it. So does the Versys, but the Versys also feels great, but I don't know, the KLR just has a certain... But hey, I mean, this is my first demo, so I don't know how common that is, but I don't know, I got wrapped up in it a little, as you guys saw. That one guy just was not accelerating. He might have been having some issues, and then the other guy didn't see everyone else turning, so he's probably lost right now. But hey, it'll all get sorted out. We'll all make it back. So to the friend that kept insisting, you know, hey, try KLR, thank you. I like this. Looks are like kind of a big part. I wasn't really a fan of the looks, and that's kind of a thing with me about motorcycles. I care about how it looks at the end of the day too, because there's just certain bikes I don't like. And I'm not saying the KLR was one of those bikes, but I didn't really have any feelings towards it. Like, I wasn't like, oh my god, but I'm on it. I like it. Initially when I first sat on it, before we did the test ride, or the group ride, the demo ride, I was like, I don't know about this, but it's not bad. Like, oh, it's honestly not bad. It's just not. I think that's going to be the main theme with a lot of these bikes, because ultimately it's just down to what brand you want. But me not necessarily being well educated in the world of motorcycles, I don't really have an opinion on any bikes or anything, and I'm at that point now where I really miss having a motorcycle and I want a bike, but there's so many bikes out there. There's so much just, yeah, there's so much out there. Just look for the rest of everyone else. Fun stuff. Who knew a demo ride could be so chaotic? I know it's pretty straight, like it's pretty straight cut and cut forward. But hey, you know, these things happen, so. Yeah, oh well. Like I said, they should be fine. The second instructor is still back with them, or at least one of them. You know, obviously we still have to continue this group ride. We can't just all disperse and, you know, it become complete and utter chaos. But yeah, that sucks. I don't really have much to talk about still, because again, I probably sound like a broken record to everyone I'm watching, and I'm sorry, but I don't have that much experience with all these different bikes, so I just don't, you know, I can't really compare it to anything. I don't know the specs on any of this stuff. I like bike, and I want another bike, so I'm out looking for my next bike. But yeah. This is still great though, like, these are awesome. Like, obviously watching reviews is one thing, looking at bikes, sitting on them is one thing, but it really matters just to go out and ride them and experience them, because if I just didn't do that, and, you know, I was just like, hey, I want another bike, I probably would have went to a Harley dealership and got another Harley. But I'm like, you know what, no, there's way too many bikes out there. I want to experience what there is, because it's not all just about Harley, and I think most people know that now. Like, it's not just about Harley anymore. Harley's kind of I mean, they're still producing stuff. It's not like they went bankrupt or anything, but there's just so many more options out there. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. Like, people that normally wouldn't even consider anything other than a Harley, you know, Indian was probably the biggest component of that. Just, you know, like, hey,
Alright, welcome back, riders. Don't worry if they're all tucked in neat, man. We'll move them around anyways.
I think I'll go with the Vulcan S this time.
Vulcan S. What's your first name?
Brandon. Next on the Kawasaki shopping list is the Vulcan S. You know, got to do a cruiser. It seems only fitting. Seems only fitting I do a cruiser. And of course, naturally, it being a cruiser, knees are bent, you know, super comfortable seat. It just feels normal. It just, you know, it feels like everything else I'm used to. So this has definitely been the most comfortable of the bikes I've been on today, but that, you know, it's because it's a cruiser. Cruisers are naturally more comfortable than the other bikes. But none of the bikes have really been, like, bad. They've all been great. And like I was explaining on that KLR, the Vulcan S is one of those bikes I don't really care for looks-wise, so it's never been on my radar. But I'm here, might as well knock it out and see what the Vulcan S is all about.
Vulcan S 650 and then the Z 650.
Oh, forwards. Yeah, these everything else I've been on today has not been forwards. So I go to put my feet where I think they're supposed to be, and it's just like, where's the where's the pegs? All right, let's go. Oh yeah. This is... I'm not going to say I'm biased towards cruisers, but out of all the bikes I've been on, this is definitely, aside from the forward controls, this is the most familiar. And just, you know, low seat height, just naturally flickable. This is, comparing it to a Sportster, because I feel like this is actually the time I can actually start comparing it to something, because I owned a Sportster. I owned an Iron 883 for about 6 months before I totaled it, but I rode that bike every single day. I didn't have a car at that point. That was literally my daily rider. So I can actually compare this to a Sportster. This feels, I'd say, better than a Sportster. It's like a big thing of Harley, you know, is the shake of it, is just the raw, visceral, like, hey, this is, you know, a cruiser. This thing feels very well mannered, very well behaved. It's comfortable. It doesn't have any, like, frills. It's not scaring me. The only thing is the forward controls. I'm not used to them. And like almost everything I've been on today with mids and rear set controls. Getting on this thing, it's throwing me for a loop again. Because I'm like, why are my controls so far forward? Oh, God. But this is actually not that bad. Ah, Jesus. Actually being on these machines now and actually getting to experience them, I've learned to appreciate them a lot more than, than I did when I first had my motorcycle. Because you know how it is, you have friends, everyone has a Harley, and naturally you get, I wouldn't say you get suckered into it, but you want to be with your friends and you want to be with everything that they like, and they all have Harleys, so it doesn't cross your mind. You're like, ugh, Kawasaki Cruiser, and like, ugh, oh God. It's not bad. This is fantastic compared to a Sportster. Actually, the Sportster, for what it is, I'd say it's pretty good, but this Vulcan S feels way more approachable than even, the Iron 883. And it does sound pretty good. That's another thing everyone always complains about is just, oh, it doesn't sound like a Harley. It doesn't have the rumble of a Harley. Look, man, if it sounds good, that's all that matters. And even then, even if it doesn't sound good, you can have some fun in torturing everyone. Like, I don't know if it's a Kawasaki like dealer option exhaust or something of that regard, but it sounds good. It has get up. It's very well behaved. This is great. I feel like everyone gets so caught up in the, oh, if it's not a Harley, it's not a cruiser, and oh, only Harley, only, I wouldn't say only Indian, because even seems like the Indian, oh, it's okay to have a preference. It's okay to, like a certain kind of vehicle more than a different one. But at least, have some substance to back up your claims. Have some experience to be like, oh yeah, I've rode that, I don't like that. Or, can't just be, oh, I don't like... Look at that. Look at that. That's fine. That's perfect. That's great. Like, it's not scary. It's not trying to kill you. It has get up, and it's not doing it so aggressively, so crazy that, you're like, it's manageable, it's doable, it's very comfortable. This is fine. This is great. I'm kind of mad at myself because, like I said at the beginning, the Vulcan S is just one of those bikes I never gave the light of day just because I didn't like the way it looked. I mean, it's still fair. Harleys do look pretty good. Like, I don't like the fairings on street glides. I don't like the weight of the fairing on the handlebars, but I'm starting to not care as much anymore about the looks. This is a wonderful cruiser. Because, I mean, what is a cruiser? Even. Everyone's going to have their own definition of what a cruiser is. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a Harley Davidson, and that's fair. That's Harley's pretty much only category. I mean, they've made different things in the past and the present, but if someone says the word Harley Davidson, they're going to think of a cruiser. And that's fair. That's all they've ever really made. So, yes, Harley Davidson makes a great cruiser. But this is not bad. Like this is not bad. This would be a fun alternative to my car, just to go to work, maybe on the weekends, or if it's a really nice day out and I just want to have some fun. And a lot of my friends are on motorcycles and I miss hanging out with those friends. There's just a lot of factors that are pushing me back to motorcycles. But I want to actually have experience. I want to actually make judgment calls and not just, walk down to Harley, hey, what can you get me for this? Oh yeah, sure, I'll take that bike. No, I want to experience what all's out there. I want to experience, everything. And again, I'm just kind of beating myself up just for, I don't like the way this bike looks, and, completely disregarding this entire brand, multiple brands of motorcycles, just because, it's not a Harley, and I'm kind of mad. You always got to do dumb shit around the kids, though. That's always one thing you got to do on a bike. You got to make more bikers. And how do you do that? By being silly around the kids. Obviously, be respectful. Don't flick them off. Don't crash into their parents' car. But, man, if there's one person that smiles harder than the person on the motorcycle, it's the kid looking at the motorcycle. It's like, wow, look at that thing. You got to make more riders. Man, this is great. All these bikes have been very great, and I keep saying it, I'm more so just mad at myself for disregarding this entire segment of bikes, this entire brand, every other brand. I'm not saying I was always a Harley elitist, but I had a Harley, and I'm just like, I don't want a Japanese bike, I want a Harley, just because that's what I've had. Harley makes cruisers. You're telling me anyone else can make a cruiser? That's ridiculous. But it's being proven to me right now. Like, this is great. This is a fantastic. And yes, it doesn't shake like a Harley. And yes, it doesn't say Harley. But ultimately, man, I don't care anymore. Like, a bike is a bike. I like bike. Bike I like. And if I end up with a Harley, great. If I don't end up with a Harley, also great. I don't care. As long as I'm on it, as long as I'm smiling, I'm going to enjoy it. And yeah. Look at all these fine people, enjoying themselves, having a great time. And that's not a Harley, that's not a Harley, that's not a Harley, that's not a Harley. You get my point. Harley has the biggest market share, and there's the most Harleys of any bike out there, in America at least, but you get the point I'm trying to make. It's not all about Harley anymore. Never was, but man, what fun. What fun this has been. Yeah, great. This has all been great. Go out there, ride as many bikes as you can. It doesn't have to be a Harley. That's all I'm saying. If you end up on a Harley, great. If you don't sweat it too much. It's not all about having a Harley Davidson. Now, nothing wrong with wanting a Harley Davidson if you want one. Like I'm not trying to shy you away from a Harley Davidson, but yeah, just get whatever you want. Go out there, ride. Go out there, ride, and experience stuff. Retro 650?
Z650 RS?
Yep.
That's what you want?
Yep.
This?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, this video is already incredibly long. I don't want to make it any longer. I have a lot of work to do just involving the tier list that I'm trying to make with these bikes. Just know that I really enjoyed all the Kawasaki's I got to ride, and I look forward to everything else I can get my hands on. So, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you're enjoying this style of content, this content I'm creating, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. So thank you again, and as always, fuck outros.